Yes, yes, welcome to another episode of DUD or SPUD. We have Maniacal Mac.
Unsystematic.
And Unsystematic, what is today's glorious movie that we're going to go for, good sir?
We are going to go for Orcs 2011, which was made in 2000.
Made in 2011, called Orcs. We saw the trailer, didn't we? And it looked like, this one actually looks like it don't take itself too serious, like it's a bit of self-aware, so it's probably going to be a bit of like comedy elements in it.
Yeah.
That's the impression we got.
Yeah.
So, again, I got no problem with that. If a film does it well and you're self-aware and you play up to it, then that's the only thing. Play up to it if you're going to be self-aware. But yeah, so basically it's called Orcs. The clues in the title is about a bunch of fucking orcs. And it looks like these two like sheriff people and
Rangers.
Yeah, two rangers and like a bunch of kind of like teenagers are fighting against orcs, I guess.
Yeah, I think the Rangers are going to be the heroes, and they're really dumb and shit.
Yeah, they look
don't
like
know what the fuck they're
in the trailer.
doing.
They're screaming and running and that, and so
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, I say with this one, let's just get straight into it, and then we can give our thoughts to the good people once you've seen it. What do you reckon?
Let's go for it.
We'll be back with you soon. Yes, yes, yes. So we're back, and we have just watched Orcs.
Yeah.
So this one then, based on the trailer, I think the trailer give a pretty much good idea of what we would expect with it, I guess, like, or what happened in the film. Because now I look at it,
what happened.
Yeah.
And not how good the film was.
well, like looking at the trailer, like based on what it said, it's like now we've seen the film, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much what was in the film, isn't it? Now I've watched the film, I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But so starting this film off, it starts back in 1909,
Yeah.
and it's got a ranger,
Yeah.
and he's talking about orcs and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then what happens? They kind of, that's it. Some guy's getting attacked in the cave, and then they try to get out, and then he sets like the bomb off, and it stops a cave, isn't it? Kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why
yeah.
the orcs have been trapped for all this time
Yeah,
until.
yeah. Genius storyline.
Where'd you go?
Where'd you go? Look at that moustache in it. You can tell they're not taking it serious.
Yeah, that's a class moustache. You know?
So orcs have like night vision then, I guess, that green kind of lens we put on cameras for night vision. So if the orc pulled it back in and it blew up, wouldn't the orc have been fucked as well, eh? So he pulled him back in towards dynamite, didn't he?
Yeah, but...
Or the dynamite shut down the mine and that's why they've been shut there for years. When it comes to recent time, it's the son of the original guy that they showed right at the beginning, and he's also a ranger following in his father's footsteps at the same place, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So, what did you sort of make then of the intro, really? Because the intro, we had that, it was quite quick, wasn't it? It was like an off-screen death, wasn't it, really?
Just a boring intro, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like off-screen, innit, the death. It didn't really show it, did it?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and I get what a lot of these films do, try not to show you what it is, but the film's called Orcs, and on your cover's a picture of the orc, so why are you trying to hide the orc straight away? You should have showed it, and showed the kill on screen, in my opinion, but that's what that was. But then, yeah, so it goes into this guy,
Yeah.
and he's basically, I thought he's funny as fuck, because he's like a park ranger, and he does literally bare minimum he can get away with. He's that kind of guy that if he can get away with it, he fucking will. He'll do minimum of everything. He comes across at first like he's a bit of a prick to people, like, and no one takes him serious.
to 205, over.
205 here. What do you want, Marge?
What's your position?
March.
I'm just, finishing with the tour here at the pictographs.
Like hell, that tour finished 90 minutes ago. Now get your lazy ass back down to the station pronto. Over.
I would literally, what I would do though if I could get away with this, live in a small town, I'd be getting away with fucking fishing every second I could, like, fuck would.
Are you there, Marge?
Oh, I'm here, Robertson. We got another complaint that the northern camp toilets are stinking up the park. Deal with it.
Well, where's Edgar? That's his job.
Still can't find him. So you two better get out there and lime them yourselves.
Should we go?
Best shots, it was 3 of them on the back there, didn't none of them.
No more mining, save the land! No more blasting, here we stand! No more mining, save the land! No more
That's enough, Hobie. Let's go.
But we already paid for these.
Well, hello, Cal.
This guy's great. As soon as he's got to do his job, he's like, fuck, just get out of here. Like, I really like him.
That's something I never had. But if I had my choice, I'd choose one of the big parks, like Yosemite or Yellowstone.
Yellowstone can kiss my ass. You know what big parks are? Paperwork, daily uniform inspections, time management, requisition forms for every little
This guy,
tiny
though,
thing.
he's like, find a
Sexual
small area to do the
harassment?
least amount of job. Like, you know what I mean? I can relate to him in a bit. Like, you know what I mean? Would you want the same money to, like, be overworked or a place you can just
You never had
chill?
to deal to any of
Fucking
that.
go for the chill place, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Who's he?
That guy.
Yeah, he's not as stupid as he seems.
Yeah.
Parks first ranger.
Well, let's not speak too
Oh,
soon.
I love him.
That's it, because a woman, the other park ranger, the older lady, introduces him to a new guy. What did you make of the new guy that came into the film, the younger guy? Because then they become like a duo. What did you make of him?
At first, it was like, oh god, the first guy's helpless, but
Yeah.
but now we got an even more helpless guy who's just started, a noob.
That's the vibes in it. It's like giving him
Yeah.
straight away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so he's like basically got to team up with him, hasn't he? And then he's like, oh, we'll go and sort out all these disturbances that people are talking about, what's going on. And so this is one thing I never really explained, is how the Orcs got out, did it? I think they do later on in the film, rounding up, because a woman talks about she was down the mines fucking about, and she's obviously blown up the mines, and that's how they've got out. And because she talks about that later in the film, how she was down the mines at one point.
Yeah.
But they quickly pass in. It's like, oh, so that's how the Orcs got out. They should have told you more, in my opinion. They'd never made that too clear.
No,
it was
they
like a
didn't.
passing statement I just happened to catch. Go, oh right, that's how the Orcs escaped. But they'd never really show that. So then you had these two guys really, and a lot of the film is them just checking out these disturbances that people are complaining about, and they're saying it's a bear, isn't it, that's like running through people's garbage at first. And then he goes and sees the three stoners, doesn't he? I thought that was quite a funny scene. What did you think of that, when he like goes and sees the three kids and they're like mouthing off at him like, oh, fuck off, no one's taking him serious.
Yeah, I just thought, what a cunt! Like the main character's a cunt. He's just stealing weed off kids, and
Yeah.
but lo and behold, you know, Maniacal Mac mentioned that he's blatantly gonna smoke that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens is he goes and smokes that.
Yeah. It's literally like the scene after, and he like takes from the kids. He's like, right, give this to me and we'll just say it's the bear and all that. You kids stop doing it. And the kids is like, we ain't done fuck all. Like, you know, leave us alone. You're harassing us. Because the kids don't fuck all at this stage. They're just chilling here. And everyone thinks that these kids are going around terrorizing everyone and shit. Like, so yeah, the next scene then, in it, he's pretty much there, like pretty much fucking smoking. He's with the new guy. And I thought that was funny as fuck. He's got a big packet of crisps while he's smoking. And the new guy going, so how many of them do you have to smoke till you know it's actual weed? And he goes, the good old book says two, but I think one is enough. And he's just baked as fuck. And like the guy's kind of so new, but he's not catching on. And like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? And then he grasses him up. I thought that was funny as fuck, because he goes to the radio because the old woman's calling in. She's like, where's the other guy? And he's like, oh, he's you know, he's working hard. He's smoking weed to see if it's real. It's like, oh, you fucking idiot, stop it. And then so he runs to the radio and he's like, oh, he's just fucking about. And she's like, get back to the office.
Hey, kids. We saw your handiwork with the trash cans up at the convenience store.
That wasn't us. We've been here the whole time.
Yeah, it was probably bears.
Yeah, we know you kids got pot. The entire campground reeks of it.
And what are you gonna do? You're just a park ranger.
Actually, he's a federal officer. He has full police powers within his jurisdiction, so he can do whatever he wants. And what are you? I'm like a
What
ranger
are
cadet. Like
you?
I'm a ranger in training.
Listen, kids, just hand over the pot and we'll pretend it was bears, capiche? Let's have the snacks. Improperly stored food items attract
What's the bet
bears.
that he's going to smoke that himself
Real
later?
bears.
Yeah, good point, man.
I thought
He's
you
blatantly
said
a
there
pot
hadn't been a
smoker.
Yeah,
bear
because he
here in
guess
10
he goes off fishing when he should be on the job. He does everything he shouldn't do, like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it.
So, how many of those do you need to smoke before you know it's real marijuana weed?
Well, the manual says two. But I think we're going to be okay after one.
I don't remember reading that.
Oh, really?
You know, I'm not sure it was those kids that threw all that trash around Marvin's.
205 to 202.
Who is this?
This is Hobart Moss, volunteer ranger, ma'am.
hello?
Where's Robertson?
Robertson's working hard. He's just smoking some of the suspected marijuana.
Hey, Marge, it's Cal here. Hobie's just, just messing around.
But I like how they've done that, because they get back to the office instantly. He's got a fucking drug test waiting for him. And then, like, because I was saying, like, oh, mate, he's going to get someone else's piss and that. But he don't, does he? He actually pisses it himself and then gives it to the guy. I just think he got away with so much shit. He even says it, and he was going to eventually get fucking caught, because the young guy apologizes to him at one point.
What does he say to him? Don't drink it.
Yeah, he gives the guy and says something about, oh, don't fucking drink it all at once or something when he gives him his piss sample. But then, yeah, a lot of the film, really, with this discussion, it's not going to be super big. So, like, a prolonged part of the film is basically them two kind of going from place to place, finding out. There is a part where, like, it goes back to where the stoners were, and two of them having sex in the tent, and one guy's reading a book, and he's moaning about them disturbing him while they're having sex. It's like, bro, you're reading a fucking book, they're having sex. Why are you telling them to, like, shut up? You're reading a fucking book, mate. Like, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Shut up. But then, yeah, they kind of get killed, like, kind of, they rip through the thing, and that's like, he gets dragged out of the tent. A lot of off-screen kills there again, isn't it?
Yeah.
So at this point, we're like...
Rightfully so as well. Like, you can't cockblock someone like that.
Yeah, well,
if you're reading a book, you've got to have a better...
I was going to say, I was on York side there. I was like, yeah, this kid was like fucking having to go with two people fucking shagging in the tent next door while you're reading a book. Bro, how about bring a woman with you, like, instead? You know what I mean? Like, but whatever. But so, yeah, I was happy with him dying. It is what it is. But when he did that off camera, I was like, oh, I'm going to try and justify this film. I know it's not a huge budget, so they're going to do a lot of off-screen deaths, and then it'll be a big, like, you know, a lot of it'll happen, to, like, you know, later on in the film. But then, like, shortly after that, then, when the Rangers are going back to fucking check on it, where the disturbance was, where the kids were all camping and that, they find a woman's head on a spike, don't they? And that's actually done pretty well. Like, they show it, and it's like, oh, right, so you've shown a woman's head on a spike, so why didn't you show her get her head cut off anyway, earlier in, like, the scene before?
Yeah, loads of scenes like that. We're missing
like, loads
more...
of off-screen death, but then they will show a head on a spike. So it's like, well, if you're going to do that, why don't you go the full way with the other scenes? I get there's a budget, but then, like, you know, just... fucking put the budget in, like, her getting, at least her getting her head cut off if you were going to put down the spike, and then the other two off screen deaths.
Oh my gosh.
It's those damn kids. All right, you little punks. Had your fun. Trashed your own camp. Faked the bear attack. Congratulations.
That is a realistic reaction, wouldn't it? You'd be like, what the fuck? I like these La Heroes over. But yeah, there's a lot of that off-screen deaths, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then really, what can you remember? So at that stage, then when they do that, they start freaking out, don't they? And that's when they come across a woman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they're getting chased by the orcs. They actually see them, don't they? And I think at that stage, they're running away through. That's it, because they're at that stage, and they're going around the park to try and say to Avon, you got to get out and that. And I thought it was a funny part, because you got the guy then on the little quad. He's on the thing going, there's orcs around, you need to get out. And Avon's just looking at him stupid, like, fuck off, I'm not taking you serious, like. And he's just doing a terrible job. And then the other guy in the car goes up to them two women, and instead of, like, you know, being alert, like, get out, you're going to die any second, he's just flirting with them for the bit first, isn't he? Like,
Yeah.
Shut down. Head back to
fair
Marvin.
play to him,
Hey,
though, mate.
take this just
He's
in case.
fucking bang, bang, bang. Literally
Just
bang,
insane.
bang, bang. But I was gonna give him credit and say he's on the ball, and then
But there's a horde of bloodthirsty murderers heading your way. Please
I love how
leave
no one
everything,
takes him
leave
serious,
your
bro.
belongings, and
Hey, girls.
if you happen to run into what looks like an ape-like man, a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, or serial cult rapist, please run for your lives, because he killed a really cute teenager who was using illegal drugs. He probably was a good person still.
I think you may have missed a spot. Yeah. Just a little bit right there.
Here?
Yeah. You never can be too careful. You know, skin cancer, it's a real killer. So, also, there's been a brutal dismemberment in the park of at least one patron, possibly four.
And then he goes, oh yeah, by the way, you need to get the fuck out here, kind of thing, like. But he had time to flirt with them and that first, like. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, you liked the characters a lot, didn't you? You thought they worked well together.
I tell you what, yeah, the two main guys I thought were really funny, like, you know. At first I was like, I don't know where they're gonna go, but as more as the film went on, I really liked their character. I think they worked well together. I thought they were quite funny. This film, didn't take itself seriously until it turned into the action scene, which we'll talk about in a bit. But that's what I liked about this film mostly was, believe it or not, those called Orcs. My favourite part of this film is when the Orcs weren't in it, when he was just following them two guys being fucking dumbasses and just, you know, mainly the dialogue and just their behaviours. I could have watched like a full film with just them two fucking having just following their day job and no Orcs in it, and I would have loved it, like, you know what I mean? But so weirdly in this film, my favourite part was like none of the horror stuff or the stuff I'm usually into is just them two guys. I found them funny as fuck personally, like, you know, I thought they worked really well. And when they worked off each other, I thought they worked pretty well. You know what I mean? It was that scene when he goes to the golf thing as well, and the one guy's like following that, he's like, and then attracted to like Scooby-Doo.
Come on, let's go.
A golfer lay here. And another. He crawled.
It's just turned into a Scooby-Doo
Probably,
fucking
buddy.
episode.
We really gotta.
Fled. They were followed.
He's turned into like Batman,
Looks like
bro.
one of them lost
Yeah.
a shoe.
These tracks lead away from the battle.
I love how he's just speaking to himself as well. Like. You know, it got so silly at points. You're like, oh, they're self-aware of this. And that was my favourite part. Like, a lot of these films, when they're self-aware, I'm a bit like, eh. But in my opinion, that was when this film worked best. When it was self-aware, just quite comical and just having fun. So you get them moments, don't you, really? They went up the park. And at this stage now, they're basically... That's it. They're in the one. They go to the one fucking like a petrol station or something, and they find a guy there. His guts dead. That's the other time you use a gore effect, 'cause his guts are coming out with his jacket and stuff. And then they're like shit, and they see the orc in it. Remember that when you open the door and then they see the orc? Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to explain to the people what happens to that scene?
Well, the orc comes out and they just kill him, don't they?
Well, he's at the door for a bit with them,
Yeah.
and then the orc comes out. The orc gets him on the floor. The orc's about to kill him, and then what happens?
Oh,
Who saves
someone
him?
comes. Yeah, someone comes saves the day,
The
don't they?
person you hated, the woman.
Yeah.
I found him.
Should we put him in the truck?
Is that it? Is that
Marvin, they said, so it was whoever the owner of that shop is.
Oh.
Nice.
Marge, thank God. Never thought I'd say that.
These damn things are all over my park.
It's not just your
Is the
park.
rest of the store clear?
What? Yeah.
Good, then what I want you to do... Ah!
Take a gun.
Idiots.
You did say she was gonna die.
Yeah. God, she had to, didn't she, eventually, though? That was quite funny. She saved her ass and then she got killed straight away, like when she was redeeming herself as well.
Yeah.
Just tranking him. Like.
He's sick. Double trank to the
Yeah.
neck.
Make sure in there, like,
Yeah.
these Inhumans, don't shoot them once, like. He's like, what the fuck is
It's
that?
an orc.
No, it's not. There's no such thing.
So she comes and saves the day.
Yeah.
Literally, like, kills a fucking orc. And then, like, she's like, hey, you guys, we need to fucking get shit going together. Like, so you're like, oh, she's going to redeem herself. And then, like, straight away, bang, she gets a fucking, like, stabbed in the back, like, you know, like with a sword. And it's like, oh, fuck, the second she redeemed herself, fucking actually, you know, saved the characters. They would have died if she didn't come in and intervened. And then she dies straight away. You're like, oh, fucking hell, that's quite fucked up, like, you know. But she's redeemed herself and now they killed her. But then, yeah, and then the one guy shoots the one orc with tranquilizers and they escape, don't they? They run out there.
Double shot to the neck.
That's it. Doom, doom, double shot him. It's like, good effort, bro.
Yeah, for a noob.
One thing he's mentioned, a noob, because early in the film, when he gives in and he's going around the forestry, like out of reaction, he like shoots a little chipmunk, tiny little thing, like a bang, and gets it. And he's like, what is that after? But we were saying, yo, that guy's amazing shot. His reaction's like boom, boom, he's really good.
Now we make that bear sorry you ever stepped foot in our park.
I wish bears were nice.
Trying to be badass, like he's gonna scream the first second he comes across the fucking orc. Watch out.
You're referring to a cartoon. Now this is going to be a real bear, which will kill you if you see it. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Cease fire!
What was it?
Well, first of all, it's a chipmunk.
Good shot.
Second of all, he's dead.
I'd be impressed, man. Like a chipmunk could be an harder target, like, and he got it first shot.
Yeah, give him the gun
Yeah,
back.
I was gonna say, like, you know, and he was alert as fuck. I was like, yeah, straight away. And
Yeah.
throughout the film, that's one thing I'll give this film. There's none of this bullshit. They're just spraying fucking wildly. Every shot they're like hitting pretty much every fucking time. So they're conserving ammo and doing pretty well throughout the whole film. I'll give them that. But yeah, anyway, they go into the forest then, and that's when they come across the woman that we see earlier who was protesting. She was doing the Rambo weapons, yeah, then.
Guess we'll find out.
Oh, it's the woman who was screaming earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which it looks like the main guy and her. They kind of liked each other, but never, you know, kind of acted on it. So they had kind of had a thing that was never a thing going on. So then that's the part where that passing scene comes where he goes, oh, I heard you've been down the quarries or whatever again. Or she goes, oh, I've just been down there. And that's when she opens a bag of dynamite. And it's like, oh, shit, that's why the Orcs have come now. While she's down the quarry, because she wanted to get rid of it or whatever, she blew open shit for some reason. And that's what's let them loose. That's why, like, for years we haven't heard them and they've only come now. They've been, like, just laying dormant in a fucking mine, basically, haven't they, for, like, 100 years or just over, whatever.
Yeah,
So-
they're gonna be pissed off.
Because they're all in, like, night armor, innit, the Orcs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they basically come across her, and then they kind of become a three-way duo then, and it comes to that scene, which, thankfully, you told me, like, when they pay homage to Lord of the Rings. Do you want to explain that scene?
Yeah, sure. Well, there's three of them, and they just hide in there, just below the path where loads of zombies are. Loads of zombies.
Orcs.
Orcs. Yeah. What film was I watching? Orcs are walking on. Just exactly like Lord of the Rings.
Because you
It
called
was,
that, didn't you? Because like
yeah,
when I was
yeah,
doing it, it was
yeah.
like I was saying this reminds me of something so fucking much. This actual scene, and you go, oh, this happens in Lord of the Rings with the Orcs. It's like, oh, Orcs doing it, paying homage. That's what they're doing. But no, it was literally you said it was like pretty much the exact same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but then an orc comes out then, and then he
Kind of starts sniffing there, and then
he gets a stick.
he just gets a stick. And but the thing is, when he's like this, and he kind of the orc's up there, so he like throws it to the side. But by the way you throw it, if I'm on higher ground, I'm going to see your arm even if you're throwing it. But even though the orc's kind of looking down there and he throws it, but the weird thing is the stick goes, and even though he does that, it's not like he's running towards the stick. He just kind of gets back on the path and then just walks off anyway.
Oh, it's like off Lord of the Rings.
I was literally about to ask what film. Obviously, these are orcs, so this is a play on the Lord of the Rings thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it orcs?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say, what film does this happen in? The exact same thing. Yeah, glad you said that. Good, nice one.
The exact same scene.
And then it's orcs as well, so like these guys are going out their way to get fucking copyrighted today.
That was awesome.
And then they go to the ranger. What are they called? Like the ranger center thing they have in there, like the cabin place, I guess, isn't it? The where all the rangers stay.
Yeah.
So that's where they go into, isn't it? Basically, because they say we need to like shack up here. That's where weapons are. This is our best chance. Rather than going 20 miles out of town, let's go a mile to this ranger tower place. It's not a tower really. It's like a ranger cabin, whatever it is. And they're saying there's weapons there. We'll hold up there and work out what we're going to do from there, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So they get there, and the young guy at this point sprained his ankle because the two of them fell over each other, didn't they? Which is quite funny. When they're fucking running away, they fall into each other, and one sprains his ankle. as much as he's a dweeb, right, this is very realistic. I think people in a moment of panic would do loads of dumb shit like this, like, you know what I mean? Just like run into each other and that.
You okay?
My ankle. I think I sprained it.
That's just great.
So he's like that's why they have to go to this Ranger Tower place. So like he's not going to get far, he's going to die, you know, we got to get there. So while they get there, the young guy's, he was always going on about his notebook, like, so he's forgot his notebook and the key in it. So you have that little scene then where the one guy was saying to the woman, like, right, I'm going to have to go, but then he's also, like, kind of two minds, should we go or shall I go and save him? And she's like, oh, you know, we're so selfish, you're out for yourself, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you don't get me. Leaves. And then when you're saying he's in the middle of the night, you're like, how the fuck's he going to come across this little, like, black passport like that in the middle of the fucking night with a little flashlight? But unbeknownst to us, he does anyway, doesn't he?
Selfish. Where are you? How you're saving your
You're never going to find that notebook and fucking, like, backtracking on yourself through woods like that in the night, are you?
No, it's a dumb idea. Pitch black.
What? He's found it? What the fuck? All his drawings like stick figures and stuff as well, like.
Few times.
Isn't she awesome?
She certainly is.
Ah!
Why'd you come back?
Fair enough. I found Hope's notebook.
He kind of turns up and they're all happy to see him. And at that point then, this is where the film for me was like, I was liking it as like the self-aware comedy, and then it took a turn and tried to become like quite a serious action film. It was like basically like a tower defense game.
Yeah.
With waves of like fucking enemies. That's literally what happens then. Like,
But they have wicked weapons. They have like, well, it just looked like AK-47.
yeah, they do. They have like one guy looks like a Tommy gun, and one guy's like an AK-47. There's a shotgun. There's pistols. He's got the Uzi at one point. So they do pretty well with that.
And then the crossbow.
And the crossbow with dynamite attached and stuff. So
yeah.
the weapons they do great on.
Nah, I don't know. They needed a grenade or a fucking bazooka.
This is where he went, like, this is what we're going to talk about now. So for a big part of this film now, it turns into this long action scene, wave after wave, because we're saying, oh, that's wave one. No shit, there's wave two. And obviously as every wave's coming, the people are getting closer and closer. But,
Yeah.
you know, this is what you're seeing in the film. Fair play to them. They're not, like, just randomly missing shots every time they're fucking getting them. They're really well done, you know, but this scene goes on for a long time. Like, it gets to, like, wave, like, 6, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Until, like, you know...
It's no problem having a long action scene. Like, it's just, it needed more variety.
Yeah.
Like, of orcs or weapons or...
It was kind of the same shit they were doing. Shine lights at them, shoot them. Like, shine lights at them, shoot them. And then when you do the explosions, there'd be like 5 of them. It'd be like
exactly the same.
it'd be like a tiny little explosion in the floor, but then the guy like 20 meters away was flying from a tiny little explosion.
They could have had some limbs falling off.
Yeah, that's where he went
Or
wrong.
a grenade hitting someone in the head.
Exactly. He's got like a Tommy. It looks like a Tommy gun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's actually
LMG.
controlling it. That wasn't honourable, was it? So you're going to be pissed about that, I reckon. Motherfucker, you really did that before the game started, like? Cheating bastard. Well, it's on now, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fairness to a man, like, loads of films, they just shoot wildly everywhere. These guys are actually, their shots are counted.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah, because every shot they're doing is hitting orcs, they're not just missing, are they?
Yeah.
Like, in films, they usually waste all that ammo, don't they? But it's like, look, everything's counted. She's taking out a load at once, eh? Admittedly not greatly done, effect-wise, but, you know.
Yeah, they were supposed to be taken out badly.
But with a budget, and there's only so much you can do. Like, in fairness, that armour wouldn't have been cheap to hire out for everyone, all the extras and shit, so...
They're going away.
They actually did a really good job, though. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting to take that many out. I thought they'd maybe take a few out, and then they'd get it, and then they'd have to run or fight a few more off. But no, they dominated then, bro.
Yeah.
Easy, Tiger.
There's all the...
Like, there was a lot of orcs they took out there. They took out probably the majority of the orcs in the film.
Yeah.
There's movement.
Yeah.
Second wave.
Yeah, literally in a...
Here they come.
Oh, there's a load more of them. Look at these parkour experts. Fucking hell. In that armour? How heavy would that be climbing up there?
Yeah, good job.
Oh yeah, finally death.
Saying that armour looks like lava or something.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
does,
metal.
doesn't it? But I guess it's shooting through it easy, isn't it? It's like just chainmail, isn't it? It's all it's got. But even then, like parkouring in chainmail,
Yeah. True.
that's holding you down. Oh, so he's still alive, is he? I thought you like stabbed him up enough to fuck him up completely. It is literally like a computer game right now where someone's on a radio. You need to go and help the people at the back, like, you know? Like fucking World War Z in it and that, when you just got your...
Yeah. Reminds me of a tower defense game as well.
Yeah, like, yeah. Literally. Thing is, they must be running ridiculously low on ammo by now. I weren't expecting, what, 5 waves? Is this a 5th fucking wave now? It's like, it's cool as if throughout this, it seems like gone on a bit long in there, like...
It's just the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like, I get they've broken in now, but they should have done this on wave 2 rather than, like, you know, add, like, the 5th wave till this happened.
Yeah. Oh.
No, he got saved just in time, didn't he? Or, no? No, shit, he did actually get sliced up. And if you got slashed in the stomach like I have a sword, chances are your guts are spilling out.
Yeah.
But this is where it comes into it. The budget is that low, obviously. The gore scenes were so few and far in between. That's why they've done it. But I was going to say with this film, if you didn't have the budget to do it, don't do it at all. That's what I was saying. You know, in my opinion, they should have spent most of this film with just the 2 dummies and made it like a comedy thing. And at the last 15 minutes, have like the Orcs even appear then. Like a lot of the times, I'd be like, I hate films like that. But in this instance, my favourite part was the 2 guys. So if it just followed them, and maybe the whole film, you're like, are the Orcs real or not? Or is it just people pranking them? In the last 15 minutes, it turns out they are. And it turns into like this mad action film. They could have saved their budget there, because then every explosion could have been like, oh, that guy's limbs go and that guy's not. Because it's such a long scene for a short film, that's why it's so boring. Because it's like, you know, a few shots here. They don't have the money to make every explosion look good. But then there's a lot of explosions, you know what I mean? So I think that's where they were like, if they had cut that down, they would have done themselves favours. But yeah, it does that pretty much to the end then, the rest of the film. It kind of turns into that. They have all these waves of enemies. They have the one suicidal dude who decides, the one guy with him gets killed first, so he find, the doctor guy who had the piss, he gets fucking slashed up. Don't know, he gets hit, killed by one who parkours up there. Then they make a little joke, his final words are about drinking, he gives a piss back to him, and that was his final words. Okay, fine.
I wanted you to have this.
Oh, the piss.
Don't drink it all at once.
That's hilarious. His dying thing is to give us a piss back and make a joke about it. But then, yeah, they have one suicidal orc then who runs to the door, and he dives to the door with dynamite instead of just throwing it from a distance and would have done the same job. He decides to dive into the door.
Hero.
Oh, he's running at them with it, bro. He's like a suicide orc. He's going to blow the door up while he runs into it.
Sick.
Yeah, take him out before he gets a shot. He's like them annoying enemies in games that just explode, innit?
Yeah.
Distance. Stay away.
Got prioritize. Kill him.
Yeah, he's going to make it to the door, mate.
Get down!
Like, why did that orc just chuck it and run back and stay alive? Why did he dive with it? He could have literally chucked it while he was under that part and he stopped shooting and he started running back.
He chucked it a mile away.
All that even, yeah. So he blows it up, and that's like kind of when the orcs start coming in, and then, you know, they're kind of restricted then to the one room, and then they're just shooting them basically all coming through a doorway, and it's like bang, 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 bang. It gets, you know, boring, innit? You know, it's just, they're
Same effects.
yeah, you know, again, like with a small budget, this what he can do shouldn't have made such an epic event. You know, I admire they tried to, but in doing so, it went against them, I think. But basically, it's just that really until the end of the film, innit? Because then they're trying to crawl away. There's that one scene where the guy then he shoots a gas thing while they're trying to crawl under, I guess, a building to get out of the tunnel. And then, like, the orc grabs him and he goes with a lighter, and as soon as it explodes, what did I say to you? He's not going to die. And it explodes, and then you got the young girl and the guy looking at him like, oh no, don't tell me he's dead. It's like, he's not dead, he's going to come back. And he does.
Yeah, this film lacks explosions.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get one.
Well, he got her and he's just gassed up in it. Is he going to go out with them or?
It's gone for the suicide bomb.
Yeah, well.
But the heroes always survive, don't they?
You didn't see him die here, so he could come back now, just like ashed up and being like, he didn't take the brunt of it, did he? So they can get away with that. So that's, he'll crawl out with something now, I reckon. Yeah. Nah, don't cry. He's fine, bro. 100%. If he gets an arrow no though, that will be funny. He comes back and then, can you remember the last part then? Do you want to explain to them the final scene? When the big orc then comes back out of the rubble and they have their little showdown?
I don't know, you'd be better explaining it.
Well, basically, the big orc just comes and has a fucking showdown. The fucking orc like misses him, although he has a clear hit on him. And then the guy's rolling on the floor while the orc's doing that. And the woman comes up, slices the orc like in the back, slashes him. At first, I thought she cut him in half, but he just turns around, he's fine about it.
Yeah.
And then he hits her, and then that's when the guy's like, no, he gets a chain, smacks the orc's sword out of his hand first, hits him in the face a few times with, fair play, the chain would fucking do that to you. And then, as I call it down, he smacks the orc, grabs a sword, and I go, here he goes, you're going to cut his head off, decapitate him, they're going to do the beheading, because they keep into it, turns to a green screen, he cuts his fucking head off.
Yeah.
Blatant green screen effect. That's the main orc dude as well.
Yeah.
How can you not notice him, Rob, like that?
Look out!
Bit late, innit? What a shit orc, you missed him. Oh, nice. Chain. Head off, do you reckon, bro, or a stab? What do you reckon?
Yeah. Nice. Fatality.
And then pretty much that's kind of it. Then the three of them, then they go to Hawaii, which we were talking about, or Honolulu, or somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they work in as rangers in this place, as the beautiful place, living their dream, doing the exact same thing they do, but in the place they wanted to work at. And then them two are like park rangers, because the one guy's like, oh, I knew the guy who slayed the fucking orc guy, and he goes, on that note, I'll pass it to my friend, and he comes in before we talk about the orcs, and then he takes on the tour, and then he just has that little kiss moment with the fucking blonde birds with him, which is really corny. And then it just kind of then zooms into a cave, and a random orc goes, and it goes to black, doesn't it? So yeah, unfortunately, it's terrible ending, the way they've done it, but I think I've explained it. I don't know, can you think of any scenes we didn't really mention?
Definitely.
Can you think of anything we didn't mention that was worth a mention?
The best scene for me was it was in the trailer, but when they were the best scenes for me were in the trailer, but when they were in the canoe. The old couple.
Mention that, did we? That was like right at the beginning when like pretty much the first kill, didn't it? Pretty much when like the old couple in the canoe.
Yeah,
because they're like, oh, these orcs real, and then like a wrong turn moment. Explain what happens.
Yeah, you didn't think nothing of it. Like they just in a nice peaceful lake, just canoeing. Yeah, and a flipping. Someone crossbows
just out of nowhere, just
straight into the chest.
And the woman, she's in, and the girl guy's like, come on, keep going, what are you doing? And then she's just nearly dead, and he's like, oh god, isn't it? Like,
yeah, that was hilarious.
Okay,
nice.
that paddle, woman.
That's like wrong turn, it's fucked though, isn't it? Like that film is out of nowhere, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Look at him scared. You weren't even trying then, bless him. Even though we just literally watched this film, sometimes I don't know what it is, like you literally finish watching, you just like your brain gets mulched a lot, and you're like, man, like my logical thinking brain shut off, and I got to do a discussion. So if we come across a bit, sorry about that, but that's why. But well, I guess was your vote on this then, Joe? Would you say this deserves a dud or spud? Like, what would you say, man?
My opinions of the movie were different to yours, I think. Like, I just think you enjoyed the two characters together. I didn't like the two characters.
No, you
I
weren't a
just
fan of you.
nah. I just wanted more action scenes, like more funny.
Well, that's what you
more
expect with a
funny
film called
scenes.
Orcs,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, because it took a while for the final scene to happen, and that was a massive letdown.
So what would you say overall then? What's your thoughts on? It sounds like...
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna have to be a dud for me. I'm so sorry, like, but yeah, I wanted to enjoy it because I picked the movie like off Maniacal Mac's trailers.
Yeah.
And the trailer was epic, but the movie was shit.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, you know, for once fucking first time in an episode, for me, like, you know, it's not like fucking by any means fucking masterpiece, but I'm gonna say, for what it was, a dumb fun overall. I had fun with it. Like the end part with the action scene, which ain't like me, because a film like this, I'd be moaning like there was nowhere near enough action, like you usually. But I don't know why. Them two characters I really enjoyed. They took me by surprise. I weren't expecting to like them as much as I did, to the point where it was like, you know, I know this is supposed to be like a film about orcs, but I want to see just a film about them, just do the day-to-day. Like it could be like a little comedy duo. So they stole a show for me, and that took me by surprise. I watched a film called Orcs, expecting to watch orc action. By the end of the film, I couldn't care less about that. But overall, though, weirdly enough, although like the end of it did like drag out, and I don't like how they turned and they tried to be serious. It was like, you were doing really well, self-aware, quite funny, up my kind of thing. Not everyone's cup of tea. I can see why a lot of people would see this and be like, this is shit. Because, like, yeah, I can see why people were, but I've got quite a childish sense of humour, and they were quite dumb characters, and so, you know, weirdly, but I'm going to say just about, I'm going to say, because it just gets here, I'm actually going to give this one a spud. Sweet. By all means, it don't deserve, like, I'm not going to be like, you have to see it, because this is very, well, this is a perfect example. You've said a dud, I've said a spud, but you've said a confident dud, but I've said, you know, just about a spud. So, you know what I mean? This is definitely a film depending on you. In my opinion, if you're coming in here for, like, an action film called Orcs, you're going to be let down. Unless you're like me, you get surprised by the characters, which I don't think, I think a lot of people might get annoyed by them, but I quite like them. But yeah, it depends really, because going into this, I liked it for the complete reasons I weren't expecting. So that's why I'm weirdly giving it a spud, because it took me by surprise. But yeah, that's the beauty of Dud or Spud, and everyone has their own things. And this is the first time you've had an episode where there hasn't been a definitive decision as well. So I like that as well, because then it goes to show some people review and going, why would you say this is good? It's shit. It's like, well, you agreed with Joe. People going, oh, you didn't get it. It's good. Well, you agree with me. Who's right and who's wrong? None of us. It's all subjective at the end of the day, isn't it? So, you know, Joe has perfectly good reasons, and I see why you wouldn't like it based on what he said. But then I got reasons you might say, oh, okay, his humour's like me, so maybe I would. But overall, by all means, not really a film I would go out and say, yeah, you gotta go watch and that. But if you got like an afternoon to kill, you don't know what the fuck's saying, this comes up in the list. If you got like quite a childish sense of humour and, you know, you might like it, I would say maybe. But yeah, that I would say it's not a strong spud, but it just gets a spud. I think I can't say a dud because I had too much fun with the main characters with it for myself. But yeah, either way, like, it could go either way, isn't it? That's the beauty. Any final words or anything you got to say on this one?
I'm not looking forward to Orcs 2.
If they ever fucking do one, if they ever did one, innit? Yeah. Well, this came out 2011, and I doubt it. They did a sequel to it, like, you know.
I can't see much demand for it.
No. But yeah, well, I've been Maniacal Mac.
And Systematic.
Thanks for joining us, and until next episode, peace out.
Peace.
Nice.
Take the wheel.
Fair play to him. Going for a little battle, bro. Fair play to the guy. Pepper spray.
me! Get off me!
What kind of infections and diseases he got? Like,
That's all this film needed was good weapons, maybe a grenade or two.
well, he did have the one TNT explosion, but it wasn't that great, was it?
Nah. They needed like a different variety of weapons or orcs.
Yeah, it's basically been like same orc spawned in here, really, like, you know.
Yeah, in the same depths. It's just a machine gun, you know, with effect.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I say it's too long. So it's like with your budget, man. Like, if you kept it short, it would have been alright because it's gone on too long. It's showing now, isn't it, really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, respect them doing what they're doing. The fact they're trying to make an action scene, but I think, like, because your budget's small and you know it, just keep this shorter and concentrate more on just the characters, like, just them two. I preferred it when they were just goofballing round, just... Believe it or not, my favourite part of this film's not been the action scenes at all. It's been when it's them two just fucking being idiots walking around and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I would have been happy if they kept that and kept, like, a 50-minute action scene at the end. It would have been like, alright, fuck it, like, you know, the characters are that fun. I think... Like,
Really?
I would have, for me, if they just went in that direction and said, cut down on the action and do more of a comedy of these characters, like they were doing in the earlier the film. Because although there weren't much going on, I was enjoying the film a lot more. Now it's taking a turn to try and be action. I'm kind of a bit like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I preferred it when it would be more funny and just dumber. You know?
Maniacal Mac.